everybody. It's Wednesday night.
Welcome to episode 11 of The Worst Talk Show.
The absolute worst talk show.
There's only one way to go, and that's up. On tonight's show, first of all, that's handsome boyfriend Dave.
And that is my love, DJ Angie C.
But no, flattery in there.
I
mean, I appreciate that you love me, but also attractive.
Yeah.
Homely.
I think
beautiful.
kind of.
Gorgeous.
I think.
It's literally written in your name. Handsome boyfriend Dave.
Came up with the name.
Well, yeah, but
I was just using
stuck.
the trademark name, DJ Angie C. I apologize.
All right, that's fine. On tonight's show, we're talking a lot of television and stuff that isn't necessarily new, which is great because everybody's looking for stuff to watch when there isn't anything new.
Right.
So
when you just finally break down and try that thing that
we've been doing some deep diving, so we'll let you know all about that. An oral history of the making of The Town was making its way through all my social media feeds. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and Charlestown and bad accents.
Do we have to?
We're also going to talk about poaching eggs in spaghetti sauce.
Let's talk about that.
And the fact that we are hosting the Atomic Fez fundraiser on September 26th.
For Once Somerville.
Yeah, to benefit Once Somerville.
Mm-hmm.
We can't see the comments right now, so you're going to have to touch the screen. And
touch the screen?
Yeah, touch it. Touch it like a monkey.
Touching my Mickey?
I think you slide or something.
There's nobody
maybe
commenting.
Nobody's on right now. Okay, we'll wait. You should probably log on your phone though, just in case. All right,
really?
So let's get started. Also, thank you for being part of the live virtual studio audience. Then the elves back at Abington Community Access take what we record here on the live stream and they put it into a format that actually looks like a show, and it's pretty great. Oh, Ellen's here, and Michelle.
Hi, Cousin Michelle.
I think Jerk Joe Burke is here as well. For some reason, we couldn't see you guys, so apologies for that. So we're going to jump right into, well, first of all, I'll give you a quick little update on my mouth because, it's
everyone's waiting.
It's my money maker.
I mean,
that's terrible.
It sounded kind of wrong.
So good news, they're able to save the tooth. A lot of people wanted me just to pull it, and I understand that, but I'd already the same tooth on the opposite side of my mouth, the molars in the back, and felt like if I didn't have either one, my alignment's going to get messed up and things bad could happen. And
then she's got to go into the shop and have her alignment realigned.
Yeah, I don't want to go back in the shop.
Yes.
So we were able to save the tooth, and the tooth is officially all better.
All better?
It's been root canaled, and there's a temporary crown.
Sound better.
None of this is good, really. The temp crown is on, and the permanent crown, much to my dismay, because those things cost so much money, oh my goodness, will be coming in about 3 weeks, I think. And then Angie will officially be further into the poorhouse. Yay me!
Riveting.
I know. Sorry. Had to get through it. So we watched The Social Dilemma.
It's
Netflix.
A documentary, guys.
You've probably seen either my posts or somebody else posts in your feeds. Just sort of saying that you have to watch it. You really should watch it. And I realize right now we're streaming on Facebook, which is one of the big bads in the documentary.
Right.
But really, Facebook would be great if they just started regulating. And that is the message of this documentary. These are people who started... The guy that invented the like button is one of the people asking for regulation.
These guys are like OG social network people.
Yeah, one of the guys is one of the fathers of inventing VR, virtual reality.
Right. Oh,
that guy's a total trip.
Yeah.
Very long dreads.
Yeah, it's a white guy with very long dreads and
which is always,
very thick frame glasses and just really kind of mellow,
But there is sort of a shade of worst episode ever.
Like there's a little bit.
Guy,
yeah,
there's
a little bit. But you got to respect. He knows what he's talking about.
It really breaks down the fact that all any social media app wants is engagement, and they will do whatever they can to get you to engage and to stay engaged. You're checking your Twitter or your Facebook every 5 seconds.
The bottom line is that the way they put it is, you are the product.
Yes, we as people are the product, and we're being sold. And it's not just about data, but really it's just about keeping you. That the longer they hold you, like when you scroll through any of your social media feeds and there's an ad and you stop and look at it, the time you've looked at it is and immediately sent back.
Yeah.
And then that's why you start seeing, because you wasted too much time looking at those newfangled rugs. Now they're going to all your ads.
Ladies' underwear ads.
Jim Pericotti, Bob Tarasi, everybody knows that I'm, a plus-size gal, and I like to look at certain types of lingerie, and now that's all in my feed. I don't need another bra. Not during the pandemic.
Nah.
I'm good. So, I don't know.
We highly recommend it.
We really do. Not only that, but if you can somehow con your... See it? Anybody, I would say, over the age of 8?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say? I'm going to cough off camera for a second, so... Sorry.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, anybody who's about to go into middle school, at least.
When we talked about the guy who invented the like button, it's really interesting. He kept saying things like, we were trying to spread positivity. It was this new thing that we had started. And we were trying to do a goodwill thing. Little did we know
that people would, their
teenage
self-esteem
girls,
would be connected to the likes they got.
I mean, you can track suicides of teenage girls
What
and
about
probably boys. Self-harm because they posted something and they didn't get a lot of likes. I know for a fact that our daughter would take something down if she didn't get a lot of likes when she first started on Instagram. And it's just, and the way they play it out, they do have actors to sort of really, I wouldn't say it down, just, they're laying it out in a way that there's no mistake.
Much easier to digest.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a much better documentary, in my humble opinion, than The Great Hack.
Yeah, The Great Hack is great, but this one's more palatable, and it covers really all the bases.
Yeah, it gets right to the crux of what's going on.
Hey, Sean O'Brien.
Well, hello.
Sean O'Brien was on his bike today, and he got to witness, the typical Welcome Back Students Boston top of the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Taken off on Starro.
Starro Drive.
His
a truck got
first
stuck.
in person. That was very exciting, Sean.
Nice.
I felt like we were right there with you.
Yeah.
Melanie Cousins. Hello.
Hey.
By the way, Melanie, I must say that we had a 10-minute conversation about your awesomeness the other day. You really are, not only are you one of the coolest gals ever, the outdoorsy stuff that I couldn't possibly do, the tattoos, the dog loving, but you are a smoke show of epic proportions. And I am saying that. Dave's not saying it's not creepy. I was like, Dave, she's just next level. I was like, well, I guess so. Because, he didn't want to hurt my feelings. But inside he was like, yes!
Yeah, I just,
Listen, and her significant other Will is no slouch. He's a hot ginge, but there's just something about Melanie. I'm just telling you. Go check out the page if you can. Thank me later.
Can we restart this whole show? This thing took a strange turn, everybody. Strange turn.
Oh well. So what else have we been watching? If you guys have Prime, you know that season number 2 of The Boys is officially out, which is sort of a very underbelly of superhero.
Oh my! It is ugly.
The head sort of Captain America is called Homelander, and man, he is a D-I-C.
He is a psycho.
You know what?
He's a psycho.
Yeah, and he's handsome, but not really. The second he starts talking,
you look in his eyes,
bonkers.
and he doesn't have kind eyes.
Yeah.
He has like menacing eyes.
The hero and sort of non-superhero of the whole show is played by Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son.
That's who that is.
Yeah, and when you
I'm
look
like,
at
this
him,
kid
you
looks
see,
familiar.
Yeah, you see his parents all the time.
But he always looks like, you know, one of them passed away. And
yeah,
he could have done something
he's
about
kind
it.
of a Debbie Downer.
He's got a,
Yeah. I think his name's Huey in the show.
Yeah.
But my problem this season is that Huey apparently is an enormous Billy Joel fan.
Oh, and they have Billy Joel on like every episode.
Superhero gal he's in love with likes Billy Joel too. Listen, no offense, but you know how I feel about the Billy Joel music in general. Enough. It's not necessary. But like 4 or 5 songs already.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
and it's like second wind.
We didn't start the fire in my head when I woke up the next day. That is
talk about self-harm.
The boy.
Sorry.
So we also watched this week's episode of Lovecraft Country, which I gotta say, are you guys digging this? Because I feel like there are great.
Yeah, it's
in
a little
it's
disjointed.
As a whole,
I think
it still doesn't grab me. Like there was a super hot sex scene we sort of alluded to last week between Letty,
no.
Not Letty, Letty's sister,
Ruby,
who's like pow pow pow, like she's packing some serious heat, she's gorgeous, and she's fooling around with the hot white dude with like
the Aryan
white blonde
guy,
hair.
yeah.
And then hi Carrie, hi James Judah, and then we find out in this episode, and I'm not going to completely spoil it, but things weren't exactly how they seemed.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was kind of a ripoff.
There was some freaky special effects though this week.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
it's kind of like taking the werewolf transformation and turning it on its ear. I mean,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sort of gross and awesome at the same time.
Yeah,
kind
it is
of
gross.
Like, the rest
it is
of our
gross,
lives
but it's pretty cool.
The other thing we did, much to our sadness, is we finished
12 Monkeys,
4
the TV
seasons.
show.
We saw the finale was almost like a choose your own ending. It was a little bit open to interpretation in that you could decide everything was great.
If you were a super nerd, you could decide that.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yeah, there's a little Easter egg at the end, if you will.
Right at the
You're
end.
like, wait a minute, maybe it's not really happening.
Keith Bennett, how are you, sir?
Keith, where have you been? Thank goodness you're here. So it was you all, if you're sci-fi nerds like us, sci-fi fantasy.
We think it was pretty well done.
It was very well done. We have seen. I watch pretty much everything with time travel in it. It's a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this, every time you thought it was gonna zag, and you were like, "Here we go, we're gonna jump the shark," it would zig, and you were like, "Whoa, I did not see that coming."
Yeah. It has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Who is it? The girl from Schitt's Creek. The girl who plays Jennifer.
She plays the female version of the Brad Pitt character in the movie.
Hilarious.
But so funny, so well done. I urge you guys, if you're looking for a series to get involved with, that's definitely
check it out.
one.
And if you don't like it, Angie will refund your money.
Oftentimes, Dave will get really excited about a television show and tell me all about it, and I'm like, okay. And then I watch it, and I'm like, pass. And then, he gets upset, and then I get upset that he's upset.
And we break up, and I move out.
But he was like 3 for 3 this week. Devs. I saw the first episode of Devs.
She was hooked.
Really great. Like, I'm definitely in for more.
Mysterious.
And I brought The Most Extraordinary Homes from Netflix, which is a British show, to Dave.
We'll watch almost anything that's British.
Yeah, but I know, the British baking show.
It's just lovely. As narrators, they're lovely.
It's a little better when it's got a British accent.
Right.
Right? Or just a non-American accent, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But then I was about to go to bed early because I just am not sleeping well. I'm not sleeping well. I'm just staying up too late.
What is it? The Most Extraordinary Homes?
Yes.
World's Most Extraordinary Homes, okay?
Oh, there's episodes for different countries.
There's
a
woman who is like over the top.
Oh, and she's an actress.
The host Okay, and she's like in like
she's in real estate, but she's also an actress.
She might be hovering around 60 years old or so.
Oh yeah, I guess early 60s.
And then there is a younger architect, I believe he is, and
they're both chatty patties,
right?
Like way more than us, believe it or not.
But the places they go to, they'll take a country, and they'll pick 5 from that country, and they go visit them.
And some of these homes, you're just like, is the entire house made out of poured concrete?
Yeah.
Yes. And you're like, I'll hate it, and then you go in and you go, oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
We watched.
So that's a cool show.
Yeah, we watched the Norway episode, the USA.
Yeah, there was a Miami episode.
As we thought it was going to be. And then I was like, okay, Dave, what are you watching next? And he's like, I'm going to watch.
Because we watched the British show about houses, they immediately put in the queue the Repair Shop. Is the name of the show.
Now, before we get to the Repair Shop, Keith Bennett is saying, you goobers need to binge Toast of London. That's all I need. A recommendation from you is going on the list.
That's it.
Hi, Kristen. So, he starts watching the Repair Shop, and as soon as I see the title, I'm like, I'm out! I'm going upstairs. I'll see you later.
But immediately, you are the host,
totally
okay, is this English guy. He's you can't say African American. He's a black guy.
Yes.
Okay? And he is, he's all about the apples and pears and the lift and the he's got
great accent.
Super charming.
Scally cap.
Right. And like
terrible teeth.
Yeah,
but totally gorgeous.
I thought
dude.
He was for a second there I was like, wow, is he the singer of Fine Young Cannibals? Like with the mouth. But anyhow.
I think he's much hotter than that dude. But they don't just repair
immediately,
things. Yeah.
It was like we forget there was a woman. So what it is it's like Antiques Roadshow.
Well, except not obnoxious.
Only the people bring the thing to them to be fixed.
Okay, so it's a repair shop somewhere in England.
And they have specialists in everything.
Right, so there's a specialist for everything, whether it's like wooden furniture or old-timey toys or stained glass window repair, and they restore things in such a loving manner that you're fascinated, you're sucked in. I not only stayed for that episode.
The craftsmanship is ridiculous.
I think there were 2 more episodes. Okay,
how about this? This woman comes in with a violin, no bridge on it, no stay. It's got the fingerboard is off of it.
Yeah, it's all
okay.
Up.
It's a mess. Okay. Come to find out, it was her great aunt.
Yes.
And she played in the band at Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what made her survive it.
Right.
Okay? So this violin played at Auschwitz. Okay? And then was handed down to this woman's father.
Right.
Okay.
So there's a particular part of the violin when they go and look at it and they see that one of the repairs was actually made in the camps.
Right. Somebody repaired the violin in the camp.
So they wanted to keep that because obviously it's very important.
And it is historical. Like unbelievable craftsmanship.
Yeah,
and it's like mesmerizing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the guy opens the, how about this? What about the mouse? So the guy opens.
Yeah, we learn all new things.
This guy opens, takes the top, he cuts the top, the whole top off of this.
Yeah, so the violin, when they make it, they glue the top to the bottom, but to get it off, you just sort of, there's like a
slice
little,
the glue.
It's not a butter knife, it's almost like a putty knife.
Yeah.
That you sort of scrape along and you pull it off. So they're not really ripping anything off. I mean, just glue. It doesn't harm the wood if they do it right.
Right, if they do it right, and this guy was right.
Yeah.
They found out who the violin was made by. It was signed inside.
Which he wasn't expecting.
The guy was like, "Whoa! All right, this is great."
And you're like, you're at home.
The violin was like from like,
oh my god!
Yeah, the violin was from like 1890, and you were like, "Oh my! Oh, I caught the vapors."
And then
there's this little ball, a little tiny ball inside the violin
of what appears to be
like lint or anything, right? So what it is they call it the mouse. Now, you violin players might know this. Most people don't. I didn't know this, which is surprising to me, right? Because I think I know everything. But the mouse is from using the bow, the hair from the bow wears off with use.
And like dust or whatever.
And goes in the F-hole.
Yeah.
And over time, it turns into a tiny little tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool, and they call it a mouse, and it's a thing, and they actually
put the mouse
new violin
for good luck.
For good luck. So that was. Really
and they
cool.
replaced the mouse back into the fixed violin, and we all had a little cry for ourselves.
We really did
because they had.
Like
this is where they go.
World-renowned.
This is where they go. They had a guy who was in some sort of philharmonic. He actually came, so the guy fixed the violin from soup to nuts. The violin was from the 1890s. He fixes the violin, and they have this violinist come in and play. But it doesn't just play.
There's more. They
asked the woman, "What kind of music did you like?"
Right, and she said her father would play Hungarian.
Yeah, like Hungarian. I forget what it's called.
Violin
There's a certain
music.
kind of music.
Yeah.
You know, where it's almost like a gypsy sounding. You would affiliate it with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they bring a guy in who knows how to play everything. And he goes, "Oh yeah, well I heard the story, and I know, oh, you like this style," because they already asked her, you know they did. And he goes, "I wrote this for you."
So he wrote her a song.
He wrote her a song. And he played it on this violin. And you were transported back to like 1938 Poland. Okay?
It was just, you know, and you're like, there's no way you're not going for the tissues. Like, it's very emotional, and they always go out of their way to do stuff, and it's just wonderful. Please check it out and let us know what you think. It's called The Repair Shop, and it's on Netflix.
Yep.
And Extraordinary Homes is also on Netflix as well.
Right.
So we have a little update for anybody that used to listen to FNX back in the day. Our midday alum, Britt Adrian Healy, just scored a very sweet gig, and we're very excited. So congratulations. Adrian Healy is now the official English-speaking voice for the Austin, Texas Football Club. That's soccer to the uninitiated, which is huge. He still call international games during like the Cup and whatnot, ESPN. But so excited to see that. That's such a big, huge move. It is pretty cool. So kudos to Crumpy. That was his nickname when he was in the American Measles with Julie Chadwick and Mike Joshua.
Well, excuse me.
Speaking of Mike Joshua, X-Night!
X-Night this Saturday night. What time?
Don't just say it, scream it! I believe he starts at either, I think it's 9, actually.
Yeah?
Well,
that's too late. 9. That's too late for me, you know.
I'm pretty sure it's 9. But anyway, it's on Twitch, and we will post a link so you can check it out. Hello, Erin. X-Night, watching it. Now, granted, if you went to X-Night at Access back in the day, the FNX Saturday night, you know, dance party, if you will. But the dance music was like Ministry and Nirvana, but it worked. You get nostalgic if you went, and if you've never gone, the music is just ridiculously good. I mean, it's everything from the Beastie Boys to Fatboy Slim to, you know, Ministry's Jesus Built My Hot Rod to...
Can I be honest? It's what white people like to dance to.
Yeah, it is.
It would be what John Hughes character would be dancing to at their proms.
Probably.
You know.
So we just wanted to say once again, congrats to Adrian, and definitely check out X-Night with his lovely wife Linda dancing portion, because she used to be a speaker dancer.
Professional.
At X-Night. She's ridiculous. Like
teaches
banging body, tall, gin, and just rocking.
Looks good in wigs.
Oh, she's spectacular. So now we get to the portion of the program when we're talking about the town.
What? No, wait a minute. How did that happen?
So
I just hope we make this quick.
Okay, there's an oral history of the making of the town, and it features John Hamm. It features Ben Affleck.
Where is this to be found?
The original writer of the book. It came up on my Twitter
Chuck
feed,
Hogan.
and I retweeted it, but it sort of made the rounds today.
The name of the book was Prince of Thieves.
which they couldn't call the movie because there was already a movie with Prince of Thieves is
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, yeah.
So they talk about different things that happened and didn't happen. Slane is in it, the hip-hop artist from Boston who plays one of the bank robbers. It's funny, he has a quote that Rob Gronkowski was hanging out with him one night, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I love that you were in the town. When's the sequel coming?" And Slane was like, "I died." I was like,
no, nobody ever accused Gronk of being smart. That's it.
And so I had retweeted it, and somebody on Twitter was like, you know, it's very interesting that Jeremy Renner has a better Boston accent or a better Charlestown accent than Ben Affleck does, which is true. Full disclosure, I love Ben Affleck, but you know, I know a lot of Charlestown people were not happy with the book or the movie. But for me, I was living in LA when it had just come to cable, and my marriage was imploding. I had a wee toddler. I was miserable, and I was so homesick. I watched that movie like every day for at least a month. I missed those thick Boston accents. I missed the towny boys because LA ain't got none of that, you know, and it was just so funny. There's a point where they talk about how the love interest for Ben Affleck, they wanted her to sound like she was from Marblehead. Notice I pronounced an R there. They actually had somebody from Marblehead read all the dialogue so she could listen to it because she was supposed to be, you know, not from there. But didn't they call her a toonie or something in that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is a real thing.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny. I had to ask you that because that sounded so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I never heard anybody call anybody a toonie, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're talking about accents and stuff, and I realized that, you know, 10 years ago, there I am watching it on a loop because I'm so homesick and I miss my, you know, Boston boys and the Charlestown boys. I mean, they were so dangerous and awesome. And now I'm living with a Charlestown in Marblehead.
Yeah.
So it's a little full circle moment for me. So there you go. But people love talking about the ridiculous accents and
listen.
You know,
I mean, one of the worst Boston accents I've ever heard in a movie is Martin Sheen from The Departed.
Yeah, but that's because they're all doing the Kennedys. And as we all know, anybody from here knows that the only people that sound like the Kennedys are the Kennedys. So, it's, I thought, all in all, the accents are probably the best in the town.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I mean, can you name a movie that has better Boston accents all around?
Not really.
Not really. So,
I wouldn't care to, actually.
Ellen, hi, what are you saying? Oops, hit the wrong button. Prom, wouldn't know.
Oh.
Didn't go to prom, Ellen?
You didn't go to your prom, Ellen. What?
Ellen, you didn't miss anything.
Well,
some people probably had a good time at prom.
Listen.
You were sort of the belle of the ball in high school.
I did all right, but you know what? I just remember I had a limo to...
What?
My girlfriend and I... Oh, but we didn't have the best limo driver.
Okay.
I live in Charlestown. My girlfriend was from Chelsea. I believe, I got picked up. We picked her up, and then it was time to drive to the Danvers Port Yacht Club.
Oh my God, that's where you had your prom? That's where we had our cotillion.
Right. All right. So yeah, but for us that's exotic. Oh my God.
Yeah, North Shore.
There's a port in the name. It's got to be good. Right.
It's highfalutin.
So anyhow, and we're a bunch of guys who we don't know. You know what I mean? So speaking of didn't know, this is before the internet, really. Okay, and the driver got directions, and he was like, "Oh, 128 to such and such, bada bing," right? So he gets on the highway. He gets on 93 South, goes all the way down to Braintree, around all the way,
No.
128, all the way around.
Oh my God!
And we
What time
got
did you
there.
get to
We
the
got there
prom?
like a half hour late. And I'm looking at him like, and he was like,
Charlestown to Danvers.
he was totally
by way of Braintree.
and
Terrible.
Needham and everything. And he was like when I said bye to him, he was like, stuck out his hand like I was
Oh, he
saying.
wanted a tip.
I'm like, buy an almanac, dude. Buy a map book.
I will say this: in the '90s, if you had the pleasure or the privilege to be in a limo, those guys had everything.
Now,
It
This
was
was
like
pre-
a drugstore.
this was pre-90s.
Yeah.
Barely.
I'm just, thinking of some of the shows I went to back in the day. Oh, I have a headache. Oh, you want some Vicodin? Yes, I do.
All right, look.
It was the 90s.
Your drug problems
Things
aside.
happened. Keith Bennett, Friends of Eddie Coyle, best Boston accent. Well, it's funny. There are a couple different homages to the Friends of Eddie Coyle in the town. Affleck loved that movie. So good call on that.
They're at the Bruins game, I think, during that. It's not the Celtics. They're at the Garden.
They're at the Garden.
Yeah.
So what we listened to this week, we've been checking out all the bands that are part of this fundraiser that we're hosting. We're wearing our shirts right now because we've been doing some recording.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're hosting the Virtual Video Atomic Fez fundraiser for Once Somerville.
Pew, pew, pew! We're very excited. If you want to donate now to Once, we're trying to make sure our live music venues stay open. They do have a Venmo. It's just Once Somerville. So just the word Once and Somerville.
And there's a GoFundMe page as well, yes?
Yes. But please join us September 26th. I do think you have to technically register to watch the virtual video, but we will have a link for you if you can't find one. So we were honored to be asked to host. It's our first official co-hosting gig for something like that. I don't think we've really co-hosted a show before, like a musical show, have we? Together?
And actually done it in front of people?
I don't think we need to talk about our private time, Dave.
No. I think this is a new experience.
So, we've been checking out some of the bands. There's a bajillion bands, so we will post a poster. Is that a thing? We will throw up the poster on this stream when we're done and let you know about all the bands. Gene Dante, Riley from the Rupert Selection,
yep.
Muck and the
Muck and the
Myers,
Myers.
the Shanghai Lows.
Yep, Jenny D, Darren Kopko.
Yeah, it's
Little Billy Lost.
Yeah, it's packed with bands.
Yeah,
And all the money goes to Once, and I think it's a great thing. And also, you get to see us being really goofy and hosting,
Which you're not used to.
I know, right? We're usually so above board.
That's
and,
right. Stiff upper lip and whatnot.
Very stiff.
Pip, pip.
Pip, pip, and all that. So definitely join us. Other things that we were listening to, by the way.
Okay. J. Chris Newberg.
J. Chris Newberg is a comedian and a musician that I know from LA.
Okay. Sometimes we listen to things and they're underwhelming. They're not very
full
good.
Disclosure. Being in or associated with the music business for as long as I have, people often send me things to listen to watch, etc. And I always say I will check it out, but if you want to know what I think, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and that's not always a good thing. So I do sort of let people know that right off the bat. So I hadn't seen J. Chris, we just call him Chris Newberg, but his official name is J. Chris Newberg. And he's been doing this for like 30 years, but I hadn't seen his stand-up in a while. And I met him through Hanley. And I know he writes for and works with Dane Cook on occasion. Like, he's a very well...
But don't hold that against him.
I know, really. Listen, he's been working in comedy successfully for a very long time. So he sends me, I have a new comedy album out. It's called Live Near Detroit because he's from Michigan. He's from Detroit. and all these recordings. They're set up like songs, but they're just jokes, and you can get it on all platforms. And so I was like, hey, Dave, can we just listen a little bit to my friend, just so I can say that I listened?
Yeah.
I really wasn't expecting a lot. It's been a long time. We could not shut that thing off. We listened to the whole
it was
start to finish.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
Like giggling, like snorting,
giggling. There was laughing out loud.
Nikki T's here. And I gotta say, the funniest parts are the absolutely true stories that he tells. There's the thing where he calls 911 because somebody is lighting his hair on fire.
Out in the middle of the street.
On Sunset Boulevard
on a busy city
right?
street in LA. This guy keeps catching his hair. He lights his hair on fire, puts it out. Lights his hair on fire, puts it out.
So when you see something like that, you call 911.
He calls 911.
We don't want to give the whole joke away.
It's
but
just...
It's very funny. And then there's a whole thing where he gets ghosted and blown off when he goes to pick up a girl on a date. The roommate's like, sorry, she got back together with somebody and she's not going out with you. Thanks. And the door closed.
Yeah, like...
And he was
at the door, like, hi, I'm here to pick up Jane.
He's so mad and he wishes something. And the wish comes true. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
That is good. It is good.
Hilarious.
It is
Definitely
really
check
good.
It out. Oh, Nikki T doesn't like the town. She said she should sue Ben A. He stole our idea. Please watch Townies. You can find it on YouTube. All right. We've just shared it with you.
Townies? And who produced that?
I don't know.
And you are not from Charlestown? You're from Somerville?
Oh, God.
We used to look down on people from Somerville. And, you know what I mean? Let's
start. Listen, you and Nikki T in a fair fight. I'm not betting on you, honey.
Listen, I've probably lost a less tough. You know,
she is like a force to be reckoned with. I don't ever want to get ever.
Yeah, well.
So please keep the Somerville Charlestown rivalry to a minimum. Thank you very much. There's another podcast that I will not listen to. Than doing my own podcast, which again, not my favorite thing to do.
Whoa!
No, not that specific podcast.
Okay, yeah.
In general, I used to produce podcasts when podcasting first started, and
By the way,
it gets very tedious.
Ellen, you didn't go to your prom. You didn't see the town.
Oh my God, Ellen!
Quaker family or something? Are you from Pennsylvania Dutch country or something like that?
She did not grow up anywhere but here.
Well, I don't know. She could be a Quaker or something. I don't know.
I don't think she's a Quaker.
Christ. Get out a little bit, huh?
Ellen, please watch The Town. And if you want to hate it, that's fine. But at least watch the damn thing. I think it's a good
Watch
movie.
the thing, kid.
I do. But then again, it was a very specific time in my life, and I was very homesick in many ways.
Okay.
For the people of Boston, not necessarily Boston. If that makes sense.
Like they quote at the beginning of the movie.
Which is a real quote from somebody
It's a real
from
quote
Charlestown,
from a
by the
townie.
way.
I'm proud to be from Charlestown. Oh, don't get me wrong, it ruined my life. But I'm proud to be from Charlestown.
But
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell them about the Dust podcast. You've been like giggling
look.
and guffawing and
No.
Oh yeah.
This is excellent. Okay, so it's not funny. Okay, there might be little funny things in it.
It's a nerdy sci-fi thing.
It's a totally sci-fi podcast where they put on they read stories. Okay, sometimes they act them out.
Oh, so like a radio play?
It's almost like a radio play in some ways.
Audiobook?
Exactly. Okay, maybe you guys haven't heard of this. There are books. People read them onto tapes.
Did you just insult our audience?
There are things called books. I don't know if you guys know about that, but anyway.
Those are the things on your Kindle.
So they do all these different stories.
Okay.
The longest story is kind of like about a half hour. Okay? But they're written by like Philip K. Dick.
Though, or are they
Well, they call it, there's a thread.
Okay.
So the one that I'm on right now is, I believe it's called like Flight 008 or 009. Okay, the flight through time. So the premise is this: there's a plane coming from Tokyo to the United States.
Is this a math problem?
No, okay. You don't have to figure out. What ends up happening is they go through a time portal or a wormhole.
As one does.
It takes them 20 years. They show up in San Francisco 20 years after they were supposed to get there. But to them, it was just, a regular flight. And what they've done is they've taken.
Wait, can we get on that flight? Because 20 years from now, I almost would rather jump ahead.
I'd like to skip this time too, But so what they do, they tell stories of individual passengers. So it's like C3.
Okay, you don't have to give them all.
That's how it works. But I'm talking like Danny Trejo's in it. Keith David is the narrator of some of it.
David.
I mean,
He's
it's
the
not
voice
like
of Goliath on Gargoyles.
right, and yeah, he's an actor. Everyone's seen him. He was in They Live and Armageddon.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's been all over the place. He was also the voice of Spawn, I believe, in the HBO cartoon version.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Danny Trejo. Who doesn't know Danny Trejo? He's the best.
Everybody who loves him.
And so it's high quality people doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're interesting stories. And they're all, science fiction related.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. You make fun of me for reading my sci-fi fantasy Scotland Viking
Porn!
lady porn.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to make fun of you for having your headset on, giggling, guffawing, and oh my gods, while listening to the Dust podcast.
No, usually that is from watching MMA videos, but when I can't hold it in.
You're such a boy.
When somebody snaps their lower leg on another person, kicking them, and their leg goes the wrong way, I can't help but gasp.
Will you look up what Keith just said about the town so you can share it? Because I'm sure it's awesome. You can't see the whole thing. He just did it. So, it's for anyone who's never seen the town. Just sit in the shower with cold water running and just listening to
Shipping Up to Boston,
probably on repeat. All right, fine. Listen, I'm not embarrassed. There's no shame in my love for the town. It was a very specific homesick thing, and I love me some Ben Affleck. I don't care.
Listen,
I haven't watched the most recent movie where he plays a washed-up, drunken basketball
I have not.
player coach.
I have
I was
not.
all over that.
I have not.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta say, there is one thing about the town that some people take issue with, the accents or how they dressed or whatever. Okay, I actually take issue with the former girlfriend, Jem's sister. The one with the drug problem
Blake
and the baby.
Lively, who's married to Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, maybe, yeah. And all I have to say is this:
Or Ryan Gosling.
listen, I grew up in Charlestown.
Yeah, well, I know they're girls.
Nobody
not
looked
hot
like Blake
that.
Lively.
Yeah,
Ever. Sorry, girls.
But
You can write,
she played it as trashy as possible, and she hung around with a lot of chicks from Charlestown. I mean, she did get a few things right when she talks about how she's got to, if you want to chase the tail or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But, they needed certain people to be in the movie to get the movie made for, not a lot of money, but to have people see it. There's a million reasons why somebody gets cast in a movie. Authenticity on the girls from Charlestown, probably not high on the list.
Did she ever punch Ben Affleck? I don't remember. But, I mean, obviously they're lacking there.
What is your favorite? My favorite scene in the movie, though, I do have to say, and I don't know who wrote it, but it's when Ben Affleck goes to Jeremy Renner's house.
That's everybody's favorite.
Where,
I need you to come with me.
I need you to come with me.
You can't ask me about what.
We're going to go hurt some people, and you can't ask me why. And he goes, I got one question. He goes, yeah, whose car are we going to take? And in that moment, you're like, yes! And you root for the bad guys. That's the other thing.
I don't even think that he says, I got one question. He goes, whose car are we going to take?
Yeah. You never root for the FBI guys at any point, really. You just don't.
Oh, no.
You're always rooting for the bank robbers. And Pete Postle
Pete
Wait.
Postlethwaite, who is
As
now
like,
passed away.
yeah,
right?
I know, and I think that was one of his last roles too,
Right.
doing the Irish gangster thing.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
the florist.
where he's taking the roses off the.
Oh, I clipped your da.
I mean, next level, like that.
Yeah,
that
I
is
thought
really good.
You know, and the worst, strangely, one of the worst parts of the whole thing was, I felt, was Chris Cooper's accent. Chris Cooper played, and he's a great actor, right? Chris Cooper's a great
I thought
actor.
he was okay. No.
You were crying in power. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, come on. You were down sour. Like, it was just too much. It was too much. You know?
Uh-huh. Boy from Charlestown. Did you call it a parlor?
Yeah.
We didn't. We called it a living room.
Couch, parlor.
Because we're from the North Shore.
Supper.
We don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, supper.
Speaking of supper, we did some cooking. Now that the weather's getting a little less terrible, I mean, it's really nice right now. It's crisp at night, sunny and warm during the day. We're cooking a lot
Meaning
more.
we can actually cook inside.
Yeah, and not die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had made a sausage-based spaghetti sauce Friday night.
She had made,
Which
fantastic.
I'm great at that. I don't, I'm gonna brag about a few things, and that's one of them. Mike McCarthy is here. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mike McCarthy.
Yes, Mike McCarthy. So we had a lot of sauce left over, and I remember we went to this lovely little Italian joint that isn't even there anymore called Paulina's, which was in Swampscott. Which, like, there were 4 tables. It was tiny. It was
Tiny.
great, but one of those restaurants not gonna last right now. And they had a breakfast special where they poached eggs directly in the sauce. So that's what I did.
Yeah. So they would take hot sauce,
Yeah.
Simmering, bubbling sauce, crack
drop
eggs into it.
That's it.
And
you
that
just
was
kind of watch it and make sure that
make
you
sure
don't,
they don't
overcook
get
them.
hard, right?
I mean,
you don't want to overcook them.
Even if you overcook them, they're still pretty great.
Fantastic.
But I was like, and then I posted pictures and everybody. Somebody called me a breakfast hero on Twitter. I was very excited.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
if you're looking for new ways to cook eggs, may I recommend some spaghetti sauce?
It's
Just
called
make sure
something.
you've
I
got
think it's
something
called something,
hearty
isn't
in
it?
there, though. Nikki T might know if there's an actual Italian.
Oh, because
phrase.
she's Italian?
Yeah. Well, it's an Italian dish.
All right,
Is
I was
it
just
not?
I'm
Also an
trying to
Italian dish.
play the fake racist thing,
Yeah.
I gotcha!
Because that's good. That's something we need more of right now. Sure.
Faux racism.
We did another loaded mashed cauliflower, which is great. Sean O'Brien supports cooking. Thank you. But we were very on brand.
Sean supports cooking.
Sean is a
And
cook.
we also support eating.
You know, Sean, at some point when we're able to take our little show on the road and we can do segments with other people in other places.
Maybe we'll do a little kitchen segment.
We're doing a kitchen segment with you, Sean. Mark my words. And we're also going to do a sing-off with Keith Bennett as well. We will get to it, I promise. There are things in the works. I do want to talk about a controversial thing that happened at Taco Tuesday last night. We're on a very, very strict budget right now. There are some things that have happened that are beyond our control, and money is not coming in right now. So we're being very tight with the budget. Now, I realized that we had at home already, we had shredded cheese, salsa, sour cream. So I'm like, it's Tuesday, turkey tacos.
And we had a ton of tortillas.
Yes, we had a lot of
To do turkey tacos on Taco Tuesday.
alliteration.
Yes, thank you.
So, normally I don't let Dave cook, frankly, because I really like to cook, and I'm picky.
She lets
About the
me
way I cook.
cut things up
Yeah,
like a
I let him
sous
be
chef.
the sous chef.
And I'm the
Or
grill
the
master.
garde, I should say.
I'm the grill master.
Yeah, and he's the grill. So I was really exhausted, and I said, "You have at it. Go start dinner." So the next thing you know, I noticed that the food processor is out. Now I think this might have been payback from something that had happened the night before, because he made mashed cauliflower last week, and not only did he use the hand mixer, then he used the food processor, which was completely unnecessary. You can just put the hand mixer in the pan
This
and
is
you're
the thing,
done.
okay? Depends on how well done it is.
Right, you didn't cook it enough, I think is what happened.
Are we-
Because all
doing this on camera right now?
Yes. All I need.
I didn't cook it enough.
But the hand is all you need. So instead, he brings it. We don't need to use the food processor because it's a bitch to clean.
Wait, guys.
There are moving parts.
Okay. Whenever we have ground meat of any kind, okay, and we just use it, we cook it as is in a pan for whether it's sauce or tacos or something else. Okay. Maybe it's for mac and cheese or whatever. Okay, a lot of times the ground meat sticks together in clumps.
Yes, that's a good thing. It's called texture. That's what we want.
However, I mean, any Taco Bell fan will tell you that they enjoy a more homogenized version of the meat. Now look,
Because not freshly made, that's why.
I cook the meat.
Yeah.
I drain the meat. I place parts of the meat into the said food processor. Couple of pulses, bing, bing, done. I don't pasty it. I don't make it paste.
Right.
It's not turkey paste.
Okay.
Okay. It's more finely chopped ground turkey.
Okay, so I walk into the kitchen because he's now said dinner's ready, and I go over and first of all, the biggest steel or metal bowl we have is out with this much meat in it.
All right, look, to be economical, we had a couple of packages of the ground turkey.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe 2 pounds,
You didn't need
3
a bowl
pounds.
that big.
If you'll bear with me, okay.
Don't
We have
always.
we have a very small strainer. Okay, I wanted to strain the grease out of the meat.
Spoiler alert: we have a larger strainer.
Yeah, but this one's wire. The other one is silicone and it collapses and stuff. I wasn't into it. Okay, hot oil, hot grease. I wanted to use the metal.
He put the ground turkey in the food processor, people. I'm not okay with that.
And it was delicious.
But I don't eat it in tortilla because I'm trying to watch my carbs. So it was like eating
Excuse
cat
me.
food. Thanks.
Excuse me. This woman bites like anything and snaps a tooth. Okay?
That's not fair.
She's got
That is not fair.
She's
We know
Italian
why.
American, but her teeth are English American, okay?
We know why my teeth are cracked now. It's because I'm a clincher. Because
Yeah, you're a
2020
clincher,
is
all right.
terrifying, and I clench.
You're a clincher, all right. So how does that explain, 4 years ago?
Living with you, I became a clincher.
And
Yeah, exactly.
the day I met you,
The day, that wasn't.
you had a pre-existing condition.
No, that was an abscess tooth. That was different. But yes, I inherited horrible dental DNA, and there were years I did not go see a dentist, and I'm paying for it in spades. Trust me. However,
We all are.
The only thing that's happened is the two cracked teeth a year apart from each other, and it's because I didn't know I was a clencher.
Ellen says metal strainer all the way.
All right, that's fine. He didn't use to.
Thank you, Ellen.
He didn't need to use the world's biggest bowl. Because here's the other thing.
I had yet to tell you why. Okay? So what you do is you take the metal strainer, you put it in the big bowl. That way, because the pan is 12 inches across, and the strainer is this big, so you don't spill any precious turkey meat into the sink.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
We're talking about economics and not wanting to waste anything.
You're not being economic, though, because...
Economical.
You're not being economical. Because you made more to clean, and the children are terrible cleaners. Yet
Except
we
that they
still
cleaned like...
asked them to clean.
It was like...
I had to re-clean the food processor this morning, and I was not happy.
I don't have any... I have no
Exactly.
knowledge of that.
Because you didn't do the
I think
cleanup.
I'm...
The teenagers
Fake
do.
news!
No. Don't say that. I'm heavily triggered right now.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so it is. We do have to say happy birthday to my brother Danny.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to.
Ugh.
Also, happy birthday to Pablo, the Angie C and Pablo podcast. Pablo's doing so, like, Pablo did not have a lot of experience doing a podcast when we started, and he's leaps and bounds, like, doing well. He actually did a couple episodes without me, and I was
Because of your bad mouth?
Because I had bad mouth stuff and family stuff. I have a lot of stuff. So I'm super proud of Pablo and his progress and the fact that he did the last 2 episodes flawlessly, in my opinion. So happy birthday, Pablo, if you're watching this.
Happy birthday. Not to you, Dan, though.
Yeah, and as well. Hopefully you're doing stuff that doesn't involve sitting on a couch and watching us right now, but you can watch it later.
How sad.
I know. So that's kind of all I have.
Really?
Yeah. We have 5 minutes left. What are we going to do?
I think what we should do is trade glasses and see how we look.
Okay. No.
Oh,
you look like a fashion editor, and I just look nerdy, but not in like a sexy nerdy way.
like if I had a fan, kind of like Karl Lagerfeld.
I can't see. Yes. If you were Karl Lagerfeld's fanner, that's what you look like. So there you go. Hey Lauren, how are you? People coming in late, but that's okay, baby. So again, please hang out with us on September 26th. We are co-hosting the virtual video Atomic Fez fundraiser for once in Somerville. We need to keep our stages alive. It's a very difficult time for everybody. Obviously, restaurants and live venues have been hit the hardest.
It's so brutal.
In many ways. And as the CDC said today, vaccine not until late next year. If
surprising if it's middle of next year.
Yeah, I mean, high-risk people will get a vaccine earlier, but we're in this for, a while. So any money you can help donate for once would be great. And they do have a Venmo, which is at Once Somerville. And there's also a GoFundMe, which we'll post.
So go fund them.
So if you're looking for, like a 45-minute just pick me up, laugh, be silly, Chris Newberg's new comedy album. We will post a link to that at the end of the comments on this as well. What else do you want to remind them to watch, listen to, or eat?
I'm trying to think. What else did I listen to?
Well, we've been checking out the music for the fundraiser.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Which is really good, by the way. I don't know. What else have you been listening to? Really, the J. Chris Newberg comedy album was the biggest thing I listened to for me.
Fair enough.
And it should just be silly and laugh at nothing now.
Oh, wait
honestly.
a minute. I do have to mention.
Yes.
I don't sleep very well. All right? I don't sleep very well. Period.
It has nothing to do with the 500 pillows he burrows his head into.
Well, it's you gotta... It's so I don't drown in my own fluids.
I wake up, I can't even find him. There are pillows, I have to pull pillows off of him.
That's the way I like it.
Him.
She needs a Sherpa to find my head.
What? How is that a good thing?
She needs
a Sherpa to find my head.
Right.
Please
right.
end scene.
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
But I have been listening. I found on Apple Music. Okay.
Yes?
Apple Music. I'm just kind of getting into it, and they have playlists, obviously. And here's the thing. I'm like, what can I go to sleep to? I used to listen to anything and be like, yeah, all right, cool, out. You know what I mean? I found jazz, but not just any kind of jazz. And not smooth jazz. And not big band jazz. And not, bebop jazz.
Get to the point. We have less than a minute.
There's a list of songs called jazz.
Oh, so it's specifically to sleep
It's 75 songs long. All instrumentals, all low-key.
So if you're
Check it
looking
out.
for a sleepful soundtrack, Dave
Yes.
has
If you're somnambulically challenged.
Ooh, that's a very big word. All right, we'll see you guys next week. The latest episode, this episode, should arrive on the Abington Cable Access YouTube channel by Friday night, Saturday at the latest. But you can catch us Friday nights at 9 o'clock for previous episodes if you have access to Abington Abcam. Friday nights, 9 o'clock. Check your local listings, and if you don't have it in your area, ask your cable provider.
Tell them I want my MTV.
We are on the national list now, so they can pull from it and put our show on. And who doesn't want us on their television, right?
I mean, look, who doesn't? Who doesn't see that?
We love and miss everybody. Casey Riddles just shows up.
Casey, the show's over.
We still love you, though. So
You're the best.
Thank you, guys. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, my goodness.
Shut up.
Perfect.